Calaroga Shark Media.
Hello and welcome to Palace Intrigue. I am your host, Mark Francis. A senior studio executive sourced by The Express blasted Harry and Meghan's alarming lack of original content and bleakly forecasted they could find themselves walking a financial tightrope simply to survive. Like other independent film and TV companies, Archwell is now being clobbered by soaring costs and increased wage bills for actors and writers in the wake of last year's crippling strikes that cost the entertainment industry an estimated £5 billion. As others scramble to recover losses and have projects greenlit by studios, Harry and Meghan have only one new production on their slate for Netflix, with whom their 5-year $100 million deal is up for renewal next year. The insider said, given their very limited success so far, you would have to realistically ask if they would be prepared to walk away from it altogether if, say, Meghan were to launch herself as a powerful internet influencer with a worldwide following and a huge revenue stream. Until they fully figure out what they want to do and what they're actually good at, they can find themselves walking a financial tightrope simply to survive. Royal commentator Richard Fitzwilliams pointed out, it's important also to remember the Netflix contract goes on to 2025. He further noted that Netflix is no longer producing The Crown, making their content production even more significant. He highlighted that none of their other projects, other than the initial controversial documentary, managed to make a substantial impact, stating, the facts of the matter are that he pointed out pretty categorically that they have done absolutely nothing for Netflix, really. If you simply trash your family, which is the only time it does seem to mean that you get your megabucks, and do nothing else, then you must expect people not to take you seriously. If Meghan did return to Suits, PR expert Ryan McCormick advised Meghan not to be overly ambitious in negotiations and not to appear greedy. He argued that returning to Suits could benefit Meghan by anchoring her to a successful television series and enhancing her image. McCormick recommended Meghan be gracious and cooperative on set to maintain a positive reputation. While Meghan could ask for a higher salary, McCormick cautioned against asking for too much as it could jeopardize the deal and harm her reputation. Meghan reportedly earned $50,000 per episode during her time on Suits, and her increased profile since leaving the show could justify a significantly higher asking price, potentially between $300,000 and $400,000 per episode for a return. Eleanor Cora of Dauntless PR thinks Meghan's title may be an issue. She said, Meghan may find it difficult to get casting directors to see past the Duchess title and give her the kind of roles she really wants. Royal commentator Kinsey Schofield had some thoughts about the use of titles, saying, I would not have a problem with Harry and Meghan using their titles to prop up charities and improve their communities, but Harry wants to change the cultural and political landscape. I think most Americans would feel way more comfortable with Harry trying to sell us a box of cereal in a television commercial as the Duke of Sussex versus Harry trying to change our laws or way of life through the use of his title. Speaking on Talk TV, royal author Tom Bauer said Harry and Meghan have only earned money since arriving in the US by exposing their own unhappiness with the royal family, despite claiming they wanted privacy. The idea that they have anything else to contribute beyond their trashing of the royal family is laughable. They've been found out. They are now ridiculed in Hollywood and they are ignored in New York. PR expert Ryan McCormick said, my prediction is that of now, Netflix will not even consider renewing their engagement with Meghan and Harry unless they agree to substantially lower their fee and guarantee a number of shows. If I were advising Harry and Meghan, I would tell them to take a professional course in groveling to save their relationship with Netflix. Palace Intrigue will be right back. Royal expert Kinsey Schofield wonders if Queen Camilla's podcast is too risky. Schofield said, I would stress that podcasts are a huge risk for the royal family. I think she needs to tread lightly so she doesn't overshare, so that she doesn't disrupt the mystery surrounding them. A lot of podcasts take time to find their groove, so hopefully the Queen's team will listen to some of this feedback. I think she's doing a great job. I think she is the perfect companion for King Charles. I think she talks him off a ledge sometimes. We know he's got that Windsor Mountbatten spark, and I feel that she keeps him calm. She keeps him focused on what's important, and I think he would probably credit her for a lot of the positive response he's seen since becoming king. Should the future King William end the tradition of the monarch being the head of the church? For The Guardian, Simon Jenkins writes under the headline, Prince William should finish what Charles started and sever the ridiculous ties of church and state. Jenkins writes, once upon a time, news that the heir to the throne may decline his supreme governorship of the Church of England would have caused an earthquake. Bishops would have wept as theologians worried all night. Was the 1534 Reformation for nothing? As it is, the gossip extracted in the Daily Mail from the latest royal pot boiler suggests that Prince William does not worship much and that he's found his father's coronation service hard to take. This is hardly worth a shrug. Perhaps the prince is just a normal human being. Hereditary monarchy is a dubious enough concept as it is without religious mumbo-jumbo. If the Prince of Wales wants his coronation to be at least passably modern, legitimised by public consent and acclamation, he should set to and plan it for now. At the very least, he might set it in a secular place, such as the Westminster Parliament. That much should be within his prerogative. Of course, none of this matters much. If the British people really enjoy this kind of medieval mysticism, who could complain? They seem to love it, as do tourists. The suggestion that the monarch reigns only by a grace of God must risk one day seeming absurd and undignified. That the reign should also include supreme governorship over what is now a minority denomination, the Church of England, is surely more so. And there you have it. If you'd like to email us, our address is thepalaceintrigue@gmail.com. Please follow us on Spotify, Apple, or your app of choice. If you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. I'm Mark Francis. My thanks to John McDermott. This is Palace Intrigue, and good times.